Welcome to the Victory Formation Lounge podcast, a pro football concentrated podcast that discusses NFL games week to week.
VFL Podcast. We are live, gentlemen. We are live. It's a podcast relating to NFL football and 6 of us, fans of different teams, here to discuss the progress of our teams week to week, as well as the league in general. And today we're bringing an episode regarding training camp as it's just ended and preseason, and discussing the state of our teams and our divisions more or less. I am Anthony.
I'm Rex.
Minos.
Ebo.
Quick.
Sai.
Cool. So we're going to jump right into it. Our first team on to discuss will be the New England Patriots. As you can see by the logo on the back of Sai, he's going to discuss, the journey the New England Patriots have had this summer. So go ahead, Sai. We'll give you the mic.
Okay, cool. Some of the standouts in training camp for me, from what I've seen, have been one, the wide receiver we got, Tyquan Thornton. Dude has excellent body control. He's 6'3", and he's speed and he's versatile. And even though he's built like a Q-tip, right? The other standout for me is Jack Jones, the cornerback. Yeah, if he keeps playing the way he does, he's going to get the number one cornerback as their immediate starter. Some of the apparent team strengths that I noticed was the newcomers like Mac Wilson. I mean, he's a linebacker that showed speed and playmaking ability in both practice and his first preseason game as well against the Giants, as well as a seasoned receiver like Devontae Parker. He's the biggest weapon of the receiver core they got so far, and I think he's going to be the one that Mac Jones trusts the most. Some of the concerns that I've seen so far are with this new offense. Yeah, from the last preseason game, the Raiders game, and Mac Jones, he's going to take a little bit to get comfortable with this new offense. And because during that game, he finished with an interception and 13 out of 21 completions. Any concerning injuries? Yes. Ty Montgomery, he's got an ankle injury, and Jacoby Myers, he's got a leg injury. Both are questionable, but it puts him further down the depth chart, as does Tyquan Thornton. He has a fractured clavicle, so he's going to be out until October at the earliest. How the team looked so far during preseason? Offensively, they struggled. Yeah, I mean, they only scored one touchdown over the last 2 games, despite playing against mostly backups from the Raiders and the Panthers. As for some of the standouts, again, Jack Jones, he's got playmaking ability. He's forced some fumbles. He's broken up passes deep down in the field. And even veterans, like 2-year veterans like Josh Boucher, the linebacker, the dude just wreaks havoc in the backfield, and he's outstanding inside. He's going to make a good pass rusher if he can move up the chart. Move the depth chart, that is.
I got a question. Regarding the offense, based on how things have gone, like in training camp in the preseason, would you say the Baylor receiver, the speedy guy, has usurped Devontae Parker, or you think Devontae Parker is like the go-to, like the number one receiver, and the other guys?
I think he's a go-to receiver for us, really. I mean, of all the receivers, Devontae Parker, yeah.
Okay.
He's got the most experience of everybody in the receiver core.
Gotcha.
Aguilar, Bourne, all them. I mean, He'll be Mac Jones' go-to guy because in training camp, he basically brushed Jacoby Myers out of the way so he could see the one-to-one coverage that Parker was going to have.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who's your offensive coordinator?
I know that's exactly what I was about to ask. Who's calling the plays?
Hey, go ahead, dog.
Let me get my Bill Belichick on. Well, I'm calling plays, so that's how it is.
I heard a rumor that it's actually not Patricia, but the reason they haven't named him is because if they name him, then Detroit doesn't have to pay him anymore.
We still have no official offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator on the roster. Matt Patricia, he still has some made-up title that they gave for him, senior advisor to the head coach, whatever the hell that actually means.
Yeah, they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay him. They want Detroit to keep paying him.
Yeah, but that's how we look for
Slick.
preseason. What's up?
That's slick.
Is preseason is not any real indicator for the regular season, which is why I don't put that much stock in it. But if New England, if they don't set their offense up from based on how it looks, then they're going to suffer in their first game against Miami.
Yeah, I mean, preseason is basically more or less an individual assessment. That's why
Warm-up
teams
act.
just run vanilla. They
Yes,
run vanilla
yeah.
offenses and defenses to get a gauge of the actual how quickly the players are assimilating and how they perform their jobs and duties. So, would you say your defense is still the strength of the team, or you think it's going to be a lot more balanced as far as offense and defense, or to be determined?
To be determined, but right now, it looks like the defense, they got one up on the offense. Yeah, they've been struggling with the offense, like I said, and the defense, they got some good playmakers up on there. I mean, Jalen Mills, he's the top cornerback we got right now. But Jack Jones or Marcus Jones, they may move up in that spot later on during the season. And also,
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, as for the cuts that we had, that I was going to talk about, James Ferentz, our offensive lineman, and Justin Bethel, the cornerback. Those were surprising cuts right there. One that wasn't so surprising to me, honestly, Malcolm Butler.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I think Bethel's a seasoned vet, so I think they'll bring him back. They just needed to get the guys that they got to put on IR on the 53 so they can move them to IR. So that's what usually happens.
Yeah, and the 53 roster that's not really set yet for any team. So
right.
No.
They got some time, days, but still.
Cool. So you excited? How you think guys will be all right?
I think we'll be better than last season. I mean, they did spend some money to get some offensive weapons, including tight ends. And from the people
again.
I was about to say again.
Not again, but here's what I can say. The tight ends that we do have, Henry and the other dude, the three people that they did cut.
Oh, he's the other dude now.
Joe New Dog, that's how you feel? That's cool. No, go ahead.
But the other three that they did cut today, or rather temporarily, it doesn't leave that much in the depth chart as far as tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Any guys, you guys want to add anything? Any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, did you guys play your starters in preseason?
During the last game we did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Matt,
for like a quarter?
Huh?
For like a quarter or like a half?
Yeah, they didn't really keep me in that long. It's like the second stringers and third stringers. They got center stage, of course. Shit.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to move on to the next team, which will be the Indianapolis Colts. I will be discussing them. During training camp, I guess some of the standouts, outside of the fact that we have a competent quarterback, no offense to Carson Wentz, I'd say Matt Ryan definitely has control of the team. He has the confidence of the team. He runs a team like a franchise quarterback should. So that's the biggest standout. On offense, I think this guy is going to make a huge leap this year. Michael Pittman, he was unguardable all training camp. Even Gilly, as you know, we signed Gilmore, the cornerback. Mm-hmm. He was giving Gilmore some work too. So he stood out pretty well. I want to say Paris Campbell also looked really good in training camp, but with his history, it's a matter of is he going to play the season, because he has quite the injury history, but he's looked really good, as well as Ashton Dulin, who was actually one of our special teams guys, who's now playing more of a bigger role in receiver. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, we didn't see him in preseason, but in training camp, he was killing. As far as concerns go, there's our bread and butter, which has been the offensive line, has quite a few changes this year. Our right guard position has a new starter. So I'm not very convinced yet, based on his lack of experience. The left tackle position has also changed. And Matt Pryor, who used to be an Eagle, has actually improved quite a lot. But I'm curious to see how he will do against top-notch, competition. His backup, who's also a rookie, Bernard Raymond, has actually looked very well as a rookie, but he still needs, time to develop. Alec Pierce, who was our second-round pick, wide receiver, has improved significantly through training camp. He should make strides as the season goes. I'm not expecting him to come in the league and kill immediately, but you will see progress as he goes, especially under the, we have now our wide receivers coach is Reggie Wayne, and he's helped him tremendously, especially beating press coverage. And that's been apparent even as the preseason has progressed. But I haven't, because of the way preseason has been this year, I haven't really seen enough to be to know what to expect. I do know, the go-to guy is still Jonathan Taylor, but I think this year they're going to incorporate Nyheim Hines a whole lot. What's up, Rex? You got a question?
I was saying Taylor made top 5 of the 100 NFL players.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
So him and Nyheim Hines should be used a whole lot more this year. The tight ends, we drafted.
Sorry, I apologize. Before you go on, you guys released Philip Lindsay today.
Yeah, we did. That was a shocker.
Yeah, do you think they're going to bring him back, or you think your running back room is set?
He might come back. The reason why they released him is because he doesn't play special teams, and I think they needed a special team. The guy that they kept over him plays special teams too. So it was like killing two birds with one stone, and they both performed. Lindsay was great in training camp, and in preseason he was pretty good too. But the other guy, Deion Johnson, who was this is his second year. He came from North Carolina. He wasn't that far off as far as running, but he also plays special teams. So that's why they kept him over Lindsay. So I was actually shocked. I actually thought they were going to keep 4 running backs, but no, they did 3 instead. So
I thought because you guys saw Marlon Mack got cut. So you guys
Hey, shout out to Marlo, man. I wasn't looking forward to playing him twice a year, but it is what it is. But yeah, as far as the tight end position goes, we drafted Jelani Woods, who was supposed to be the next number 2 guy that eventually was supposed to be number 1. Obviously, number 1 is still Mo Alley Cox. But surprisingly, our 6th round pick was balling. He actually overtook Jelani Woods in the depth chart. He was actually the 2nd tight end. And then like a week ago, he tore his Achilles or his ACL, one of them. So he's out for the year. But he was playing really well in preseason and in training camp. So that's a big loss. Andrew Ogletree, he's just like Jelani Woods, a giant. Those guys are like 6'5", huge tight ends. So he played surprisingly very well, exceeded everybody's expectations. But that's a sad loss for us. On defense, that I think is going to be our strength at the beginning of the year until, the offense actually meshes together properly, since, it's still a new quarterback and everything. The D-line looks really good, at least the starters. I'm concerned about the backups, and I expect them to go into waivers to get some solid backups on the interior. But the starters are pretty damn good. Also, good news, I don't know if you guys knew, but Darius, a.k.a. now known as Shaquille Leonard, had back surgery to fix his ankle injury. So we were concerned if he was going to start off the PUP, but it looks like they activated him today.
Yeah, Midos had the face. Like, what? I know.
Huh?
Makes sense, but that's accurate. That's
he goes by Shaquille Leonard. He doesn't do Darius anymore. So
no, he's talking about the back surgery to fix his
ankle. Yeah. It's weird. It doesn't make sense, but there's actually some kind of correlation between his back and why his ankle wasn't healing.
It was probably like a pinched nerve.
Something like that. Yeah. So they finally got rid of that or fixed it. There was a concern that he might miss. He's going to miss time, but there was concern that he's going to miss more than 6 games. But the fact that he's been activated off the PUP, he's not going to be on the PUP, tells us that he's probably going to play a lot sooner than later. So between him, that was a big concern. And then the interior line, defensive backups, was a concern. I think our strengths are definitely the linebackers and the D-line on defense. We have a rookie safety that should be that I expect to play very well from Maryland, Nick Cross. He's like, great way to describe his ability is like a cross between like Bob Sanders meets better coverage. So, but he's raw, but he's very athletic, very smart, and he's actually overtaken the guy that we signed, Rodney McLeod from the Eagles. He was originally he was originally the starter, but this rookie has overtaken him. So the Nick Cross is our starting strong safety. So I expect the defense to be our anchor at the beginning, but as the season goes on and the offense starts to mesh, I think things will be better. I'm still concerned about the O-line, and I'm still concerned about wide receivers, but we'll see.
You can go pick up Ture off of waivers.
I saw you cut him. I like that kid. I'll take him.
Cody.
Yeah. So, you guys, any questions regarding Indy? Let me see if I've forgotten anything. I think that's pretty much.
Is Quiddy starting or he's?
He is a starter, but he had like a knee bruise.
Oh, okay.
So he might miss week 1. I'm not sure. He didn't play the last preseason game as a precaution.
Okay.
I think they want him to be. He's actually looked very good in training camp up until the new knee bruise. So he's going to start alongside Yannick Ngakoue. So that should be cool. Alongside big boss number 90 Grover Stewart, very underrated nose tackle, and of course big dog, DeForest Buckner, the heart and soul of that line. So it should be exciting to watch. Let's see how it looks.
So question.
Yeah.
I follow Pat McAfee online on his podcast. It's very entertaining. He's a funny guy, and like
he's a legend, dog.
And he's a Colts legend, so he covers the Colts a lot. And he was at a training camp, I think last week.
Yeah.
When you guys were scrimmaging with Detroit.
Yeah.
And you guys were completely, at least it was offense on Colts offense, Detroit Lions defense, and you guys were destroying them. And I just want to know, do you think that the Colts offense is that good, or is just Detroit's defense is just that bad?
Yeah, I think Detroit is really bad. I think it's a case of polar opposites where the Colts are kind of like on the mesh of going back into the playoffs, and these guys are on the mesh of still being garbage. And
they're trying to fix what Matt Patricia did to them for 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. So don't take too much out of it. I do think the offense isn't like great, but I don't think it's bad either. It's a work in progress. They have weapons. It's just about chemistry, and then the line also developing that chemistry, because there's a lot of moving pieces now on the line, as opposed to what we've usually had that same starting unit of the offensive line for a while. Now we have new pieces on the right guard and on the left tackle. So it'll take some time to kind of mesh. So we'll see. It's obviously, I think it's going to be a battle between us and Tennessee. So for the division. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Also, did you guys play your starters in preseason?
The last game we did against Tampa.
Matt Ryan played?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
First two drives, 3 and out, and then the last drive he played, they scored. So yeah, the defense did really well though against Brady. Brady looked good though. Don't get it twisted. Brady looked good, but he didn't score. Once they drove up, and then I think when they got around close to the goal line, they stopped them. So the second drive around, Brady was out, but it was still, I think, starters elsewhere, and that was a 3 and out. So the defense is definitely going to be our strength. I'll give you that to start. So as far as cuts, what's his face? Weatherford was a linebacker that was amazing in preseason. I thought he was a sure go to be on the roster, and he got cut. I think he's not going to make it through to the practice squad. I think someone's going to pick him up because he's been outstanding.
Is he a rookie?
He's a rookie, yeah. He's been outstanding. Undrafted rookie. He's been outstanding throughout. Sterling Weatherford. He's been outstanding throughout the whole preseason and training camp. So teams that are in need of a linebacker in like a 4-3 will probably – I'll be surprised if he makes it to our practice squad. I'll just say that.
Wait, what position does he play? Like middle linebacker or?
Yeah, he's like a middle linebacker / outside linebacker. Fast guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he can play both sides. But I think with us, he was like the Sam.
Does he rush the passer at all? Or?
I am not sure.
Can you tell what he's?
We played very vanilla. We played preseason is very vanilla. They're not linebackers like that. So,
but like in training camp at all? Or no?
Training camp, he was a beast. Like he stood out. Because Shaquille was not practicing in training camp because of the surgery. So a lot of other guys got to see a lot of time, and he definitely stood out. So I'm actually shocked we cut him. And then of course Philip Lindsay, but I understood Philip Lindsay why he was cut. I don't understand why they cut Sterling. So I mean, we'll see. I'm sure they're hoping that he makes it to the practice squad, but I'll be shocked. We also cut Kiki Kuti, who's also, I know people know him, and pretty much cut all the small receivers except Paris is not small. Ashton Dulin is just more or less small. He's 6 foot, one of the smaller ones on our team. Those are the two that made it, but everybody else is like above 6'3", and they're all on the roster. So we'll see. Anyway, let's move on. We have the Bird Gang himself, the Philadelphia Eagles, represented by my man Kweku. You want to go on here?
Yes, sir. So, who has some of the standouts during training camp? I would say the big boy, DJ Oreo, Jordan Davis. He was killing it. I mean, I gotta say, like on the defensive side, he was killing it. As well as like he has all the intangibles. I mean, I see why Howie Roseman jumped up to go and draft him. You know. Also on the defensive side, I would also say the secondary was a big improvement because you have Darius Slay on one side, you have James Bradbury on the other side. So it's a matter of pick your poison. I mean, and I'll probably talk about it during my weakness as well because there's also a weakness there.
What's his name from the Saints too? Right?
Yeah,
We picked up Chauncey Gardner-Joseph, Johnston. Yeah, I mean he's a slot, but he's going to play mainly safety.
Yeah,
I think he has safety experience as well.
Safety,
Like
I think
played
he's
in the
playing
safety.
safety,
Yep, he's playing safety. Yeah, so that's also a good pickup. Another strength I would say is Cam Jurgens, the center from Nebraska. We picked him up in the second round. I mean that's like Jason Kelsey 2.0. Like this dude is
nice.
He's a beast. Like this dude is a beast. Like literally watching him is like watching Jason Kelsey. And Jason Kelsey is dealing with I think he had an ankle. He had surgery, so he might even miss week 1. So I feel like we're in good hands. And the wide receivers, AJ Brown.
Thank God you took him from us.
Yeah, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. That's going to be a killer combo. It's just a matter of
I see that.
you know, and I'll talk about the other stuff later. The next thing, which is what are the apparent strengths of the team? I would say our biggest strength is 2 parts: the O line and the D line. That's our strength. Like give or take. Like, I mean, O line. I think we ranked number 1 last year, and we returned most of our starters. Actually, almost all of them are returning, except Selmalu, who's replacing Jack Briscoe. But it's solid. D line as well. Like it's like even the rotation, it's just sick. You know, in my opinion. How's the next thing? What are the concerns so far? So my biggest concern is running back.
Really?
Miles Sanders, yeah. Miles Sanders is injury prone. Outside of Miles Sanders, you only have Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. We don't really have a bruiser. With the kind of offensive line that we have, you should have a bruiser. But we don't have a bruiser. So for me, my concern is if Miles Sanders goes down, it's going to be a problem. You know, because Kenneth Gainwell, they're both good rushers, him and Boston Scott, but they're not bruisers. You know, like they're very shifty. And then on also tight end, outside of Dallas Goedert, I feel like tight end is going to be an issue. If he goes down, we're pretty much done. You know, because we have Jack Stahl, who's more of a blocker, and we have Grant Carls. I forget his last name, but Grant is more of a pass catching tight end, but he's not a great blocker. You know.
Okay.
So yeah.
Question.
Yeah, and then let me see. Any injury concerns? My injury. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, in regards to tight end, they just cut Artego Whiteside. You could bring him back and tight end.
I mean, look. I mean, hey.
That man can't play no receiver, dog.
Dude, that is not. Let me be honest.
Oh man.
As much as I've downed Howie Roseman in the past, that is a pure Jeffrey Lurie pick because Jeffrey Lurie said, "I want that guy."
Really?
Howie Roseman wanted DK, so
Eesh.
that is how. As long as Howie's in charge and Jeffrey Lurie has all the trust in him, he not gonna come back. That's it, and he's got a he got a 6th-round pick for him, so
I feel you.
that's how he was able to make the trade with the Saints.
Hey, what's happening with Jalen Rager?
That's a good question.
Rager is on the trade block. I mean, the thing is,
They kept him on
this
53?
afternoon, what?
They kept him
He
on
made it 53.
Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
kept him. That was, and I'm gonna get to that because like there were other wide receivers that let me just jump into it.
All right.
There were other wide receivers that I felt should have made a 53 because like if you take Britton Covey and you take Devin Allen, those are good kick returners and punt returners. But then, I mean, I know why Jalen Reagor was kept because it's possible he might get traded by Friday, like they're saying.
That's what I think it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because he's on the trade block.
That's why they kept him.
Yep, that's why they kept him.
But I mean, with
And-
teams knowing you're either gonna cut him or trade him, you're gonna lowball you.
And that's the thing, yeah. I mean, but it also depends. You also have some teams that need wide receivers, like you guys. Yeah, even though he's not going to Dallas, but the thing is, you have some teams that need, like the Broncos need a wide receiver help. Cleveland somewhat needs a 2nd or 3rd wide receiver.
Baltimore.
You have Baltimore needs a wide receiver too.
We don't pass. We don't need wide receivers.
I'll tell you, they wanted Jalen Reagor before the draft. They wanted Jalen Reagor, and we wanted Chuck Clark. But I don't know. That thing just fell apart. I actually thought we were going to trade for Chuck Clark.
I'll get to it, but we saw Hamilton and we're like, let's hold on to Chuck for a bit.
Regarding Rager, I think the best way to use him is as a gadget guy and not a receiver. Because his hands are like Basura. But if you use him as a gadget guy, you probably get to accentuate his strengths a lot more than actually having him run a route tree. But
I think
confidence is shot.
Yeah, and his confidence is shot. But the thing is, they could work him like what they did in Aguilar in 2017.
True.
Because Aguilar was more of an outside guy, and then Doug Peterson came and was like, "Nah, I need to put you in the slot," and that's how he was able to get rid of Jordan Matthews. So if they do something like that with him every now and then, shift him in the slot and like use him in gadget formations, I think that's his strength. You're right.
Yeah. I could dig that for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they'll keep him though.
Yeah, I think
he's going to get traded. Yeah, I mean the trade market is hot for wide receivers.
Yeah,
he's hot.
Injuries.
Let me see. Injuries. Yeah, so I talked about injuries. Miles Sanders, that's my biggest concern. Jason Kelsey's hurt, but I think he should be back. Probably going to miss maybe a game or two, but I'm not worried because we have Kerm Jurgens. But Miles Sanders is running backs are my concern right now, and with him being injured at the moment, I know we're looking for a big back. They've talked about the guy in Minnesota, the backup for the Vikings. How has the team looked so far during preseason? So for preseason, we only played our starters in one series against the Jets, both on defense and offense. Defense, of course, they got that interception and they were done. And offense, they went down and scored a touchdown. Jalen Hurts has looked good so far. I think his throwing mechanics have improved, but I mean, I still want to see him in game action. I mean, him and AJ Brown, that combination is going to be deadly.
Shout out to AJ Brown. I'm glad he's not in the South. I say that again.
Yeah, but I mean, Trayvon Diggs is probably running around probably scratching his head right now.
Hey.
Wow.
Anyway, I'll let you go.
We'll see if the ball gets off. Michael Parsons has something to say about that.
Speak on the trade you did for the Gardner, the guy from the Saints.
Oh yeah, so Chauncey Gardner. I mean, dude is like an Asante Samuel without the number of interceptions, but like, dude is nice. I mean, he's very nice. I think he's young. The thing I like about him is that he's young. He's only 23, 24. I mean, so he's hungry, and I mean, I think he's gonna make a very good safety. In terms of cuts,
safety. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're gonna let him play safety. In terms of cuts, actually, one of the cuts that I was surprised was Anthony Harrison, but I get it. I think I was surprised that they kept Kayvon Wallace over Anthony Harrison, but like Mino said in the beginning, Kayvon Wallace is more of a special teamer, so I could see why they would keep him. But I could also see them bringing Anthony Harrison back and releasing somebody like Blankenship because he's an undrafted rookie. I mean, he did well, but he also has that special teams experience. And then, of course, you have the players that have to go on IR as well. So I could see even somebody like an undrafted rookie going on IR, like, okay, go to IR. We'll see you in 4 weeks. Yeah.
Hey, how did Minshew look in training camp?
Minshew looked good. I mean, he threw a few picks here and there, but he looked pretty good. I mean, as a backup.
I like that guy, though.
You can't say he looked good. You can't say he looked good and then start with picks. Like, come on.
No, he threw a few. I mean, he looked good in preseason. I mean, even in training camp. Like when we had the joint practices.
I respect that guy. He's actually he's not a starter, but he's a decent like backup.
He's a decent guy. He's a decent backup. Like if he comes in for a game or two in the season, he's good.
If Jalen struggles first 4 games, how's it going to look like?
They're gonna pick a quarterback next year. That's what it's looking like.
No, when they be shouting, knowing Eagle fans, they'll be calling for like Minshew to start.
They will probably call for Minshew. I tell you that. But
you will be calling for Minshew.
I'm not calling for Minshew. Jalen is my guy. But Jalen has a lot of heart. Jalen has a lot of heart compared to Carson. So
yeah,
I mean, I could see us starting like 4-1. First 5 games.
Y'all are giving Carson a lot of heat, man.
Because Carson's going to ball, though. Carson's going to ball this
year. He's playing on a team that actually works to his strengths. Throw that shit deep.
Yeah.
The motherfucker catches it. And like the Commanders have receivers that are just all deep threats for the most part.
I'm sorry. Hope is not a strength. And as far as the commies go,
I'm trying to gas him up so we get our 2nd round pick, okay?
Hey. I know. The Washington commies are not gonna get it for you.
I mean, Carson got us our 1st round pick, so that's how we got AJ Brown.
Hey.
Fleece them.
That was AJ boy.
Dog, I can't believe like he has fleeced 2 consecutive teams. Like it's like teams don't even watch.
Didn't the tight end from Washington just retire like after 1 practice after seeing him throw?
Oh man, I guess, man.
He went back to school.
Yeah.
There
was one. I remember there was one of the first training camp practices where he threw 3 consecutive.
3
consecutive picks, dog. I'm like, this is training camp. You're not even getting true pressure.
Like, dude, you're 6'6". Can't you see the field? Like, even Russell Wilson doesn't throw that many picks. Like, he's only like 5'9", 5'11".
Daniel Jones injured somebody in a wheelchair in training camp. Man.
I know.
Remember the footage I sent you? And it looked like the quarterback was the receiver. When Wentz threw that pick, nobody knew who threw the ball. And someone was like, who threw that? Who threw that? And someone was like, who do you think?
Carson.
Anyway, yeah. You guys have any questions for the Eagles? Any further questions? Okay, I guess we transition to the other NFC East.
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Dallas over here. What up?
Yes.
Cowboys.
Reigning NFC East champions. Let's get that right.
Hey, reigning lost at home in the playoffs.
Oh, I knew he was going to say that.
That's just the Cowgirls.
Hey, you only have 16 seconds.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Now, 16 seconds, that's all I need.
Oh, you saw that.
We have one standout. Other than Aaron Donald, we have Micah Parsons. He's everything.
Did he look good in training camp? Wow.
It's going to a point where he's unstoppable.
Wow.
And to think he's only growing.
Yeah.
We couldn't block him. And then we played Denver in the joint practice. They couldn't block him. He had about 7 sacks against Russell. And then we played Chargers. They couldn't block him.
Wow.
Like he played all those games? I thought that was them playing.
No, in the joint practice.
Oh, in the joint practice, yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't block him. There was one play where he tapped Justin Herbert on the chest just to let him know I would have sacked you. You know? That's how unstoppable he is. The D line actually has been really good. The D tackles, after what the Niners did to us in the playoffs, we were like, nah, we got to beef up. We got to beef up in the middle. So we got some girth up in there now. Mm-hmm. Actually, one of the surprise cuts was Carlos Watkins. He was the starter for us last year, but he didn't make the cut because that's how deep the D tackle room is now.
So you don't need Taco Charlton anymore?
Oh my God. Oh man. Nah, we don't. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's looking good. Last year was coming off an injury.
Yeah.
So he's actually had an off season this year. Osa Digizua, he was a rookie last year. He's taking a step. Gallimore, he's taking a step. Armstrong, I don't think we're gonna miss Randy Gregory.
Oh, you guys released him?
No, remember the
Jerry Jones crowd of blackballing
free agency. He agreed to sign with us, and then he turned his back and went to Denver.
Oh yeah,
Jerry Jones had some language in it where he doesn't pay the players if they
get suspended.
They get suspended, and it's like, man, boy, get out. The only person that didn't have that was who? Quarterback, Dak. And he's like, man, screw that.
Man, but he knows he's been suspended his whole career, man.
Yeah, so that's right.
Gregory was like, hey, yo, Jerry, I need my PEDs, man.
That's probably the first thing he did when he looked at the contract, like, oh, nah, all right, man, screw that.
I know. But he's been talking. He's been talking a lot of crap about the Cowboys, and even during the joint practice, he was instigating every fight. But he's not even practicing. Whatever. Safeties are looking good. Malik Hooker, he's healthy.
Hey, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malik.
You love hookers.
Yeah, some of them.
We brought in Barr, former Viking.
Yeah.
I like him. I think what he does is he'll give us the opportunity to move Parsons more to the end to get more rushes, so he can actually be covering the tight ends. So we'll see what Dan Quinn does with him, but I'm excited about that. Dak looked good. CD looks good.
You had some doubt about Dak.
Other than that, it's just defense.
Who's receiver number 2 and 3, bro?
It's just defense, bro.
You gonna have Parsons play? You gonna have Parsons play receiver number 2?
Didn't your third receiver just come off your pup list today or
Gallup?
something?
It's probably gonna be number 2.
Oh, Gallup. Yeah, Gallup is number 2, but he's probably gonna miss week 1 or week 2. And week 2.
Washington went down for.
Yeah, Washington goes out.
Right?
Nah, yeah, he's gonna be there probably first 6 games.
Dang, y'all left tackle too.
But the best thing that came out of training camp was we found a kickoff and punt returner, Kavante Turpin.
He's nice. He's nice.
That boy's fast.
He's nice. I can see him getting some, what they call it.
I saw that.
Some runaround options as well.
Exactly, yeah.
He can go.
If he continues to improve, he might take that Steve Smith trajectory. Because Steve Smith started like that too.
Oh, really?
And then he kept improving and became one of the deadliest receivers in the league.
Wow.
He kind of has that. He looks like he has that kind of confidence and like determination. But we'll see.
But Steve Smith's a thick dude, though. This guy's like 155 pounds.
That's probably he's probably like a Deshaun Jackson.
He came from like prior league where he was the MVP for the
USFL.
USFL. Okay, yeah.
His confidence is up there.
Yeah.
Probably like Deshaun Jackson.
He's actually not had an off season because USFL just ended. Right. He came straight into training camp.
Is he a receiver?
He's a wide receiver. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but after that, kickoff and punt return in the same game, they just shut him down. Like, we've seen enough.
Yeah, we've seen enough.
Rest your legs.
Yeah, I think if you guys should find a way to incorporate him in your offense, man.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Sure.
I again, it comes down to Kellen Moore, but we'll see.
End around.
And
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
yeah.
The jet
gadget
sweeps,
guy
the
in
jet
general.
sweeps
Yep.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jet
gadget
sweeps,
guy.
yep. Yeah.
That's how the Eagles should have used Jalen too. But
Right.
they're about to get rid of him, so it is what it is. But yeah.
I mean, when it comes to I think the strength is just defense. The defense is the strength of this team. It'll probably carry us the first 4 or 5 games till the offense figures it out. Secondary is looking good. Safeties are playing well.
Question.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Zeke and Pollard? How's that looking? That competition?
The fans want Pollard to get more of the ball. Jerry Jones wants Zeke to be the workhorse.
I think I agree with the fans as much as I can.
I don't know, man.
I think Pollard is a better option.
Pollard is the better option.
You guys, once upon a time, and remember in Dallas, once upon a time, the same thing was said. Forget who the backup was. It was, I think it was Hamrick and Emmett. When Emmett was on the tail of his career.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Bro,
this could be a mirror of that too.
The backup running back is always a favorite running back in every
team, because
right?
he doesn't get enough touches.
Yeah.
They don't game plan for him enough.
Exactly.
So when he becomes the guy, it changes.
I just think with this O-line, it's going to be hard for Zeke, right? But Zeke is healthy now. He's coming off that PCL strain.
But keep in mind the division, the D tackles.
Yeah, the D tackles in this division.
In terms of D tackles in this division,
we need to run on the out.
Even with Washington, like good luck getting through the D tackles.
The D line in general in that division is pretty good.
It's pretty stacked. Even the Giants.
Even the Giants.
Yeah, even the Giants too. Yeah.
Even the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah, that D line is stacked.
Yeah.
So Jerry's saying the offense got to go through Zeke. The fans are like, go through Pollard, please.
All right. So speaking of Jerry, man, when is Jerry gonna stop talking? I know he's the owner, but damn, stop.
When he dies.
He's dead, yeah.
Yeah, he's NFL royalty. He's
like Al Davis.
Yeah, he's got to talk. He's NFL royalty. It's not. He's not him.
He was on TV talking about a glory hole at 9:00 in the morning.
I know, right?
Whoa.
Because dude looked like he want to come down the box. That's the thing I can't stand him. One of the things I can't stand about the Cowboys.
Man,
dude look like he want to come down the box and call plays, man. Coach the team too.
You guys, to be fair to Jerry, originally, like back in his time, the term glory hole meant something different.
Back in that day.
I mean,
it was like,
wait, Rex, what made you think we're thinking otherwise? We're thinking just like Jerry, dog.
I was thinking otherwise when I first heard it.
Okay, you're a special guy, Rex.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Jerry's
thinking like
Jerry
to make you feel better.
So another thing too about coaching. How much faith do you have in Mike McCarthy?
Personally, I think this is a make or break year for him. If I was him, I'll be calling plays. I'm going to put everything in my hands. If I go down, I go down my way. But it'll come down to how far he goes in the playoffs. And he can't just make the playoffs and come back next year. Right? It's like Jerry's had enough of, we made the playoffs and got kicked out.
Sean Payton will be next year.
Yeah, Sean, that's the best part. If it's either Mike McCarthy goes far or Sean Payton will be my coach. It's a win-win.
I know you've been crying for Sean Payton the last 3 years, though.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel you. Any other Dallas?
I mean, the concerns going into training camp was O-line, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Coming out of training camp, O-line, wide receiver.
You know what? It wouldn't shock me if Jerry tries to poach Odell when he's healthy.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Odell loves a good glory hole.
Wow.
By then, Michael Gallup will be back.
I could see him trading for somebody like Denzel Mims.
Yeah, Mims has been on the radar.
Yeah, and he's on the and
conversations
he's
for
requested a
the
trade.
Jets.
from the Jets.
Yeah, he's requested a trade. The Jets are also stacked at wide receiver.
They are.
Yeah, they're pretty stacked.
Yeah, they are.
But I thought the kids, Simi Fehoko, Dennis Houston, they did a nice job in training camp. Plus, once Michael Gallup comes back, I don't think we need like another superstar at wide receiver. With the O-line we have, we're not going to get them the ball anyways.
Just give the ball to Zeke. Or
it's crazy because that was once your strength. It's kind of interesting.
Can you imagine? We had like 3 All-Pros on that O-line.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And going
into
going into the season, every Cowboy fan is like, Tyron Smith is going to go down at some point. He's not played a full season since 2015. What is the backup plan? Oh, yeah. We drafted Tyler Smith. Eventually, you replace him. What happened? Tyron Smith is down. He's out pretty much for the season.
Yeah.
Tyler Smith did not get any snaps at left tackle in training camp.
So he's behind a year, basically.
He has no snaps.
Yeah.
And you're going to put him out. He has a high ankle sprain. You're going to put him out Sunday night, NBC, left tackle against Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean,
you're going to ruin the kid.
Anybody rushing though?
You're going to ruin the kid.
Nah, but you know who you guys should have drafted? You should have drafted the guy that went to Baltimore. What's his name? I know Rex will get to that, but that was
the center.
Yeah, is he the center? I thought he was left.
You mean this year's draft or last year?
Yeah, this year's draft.
Tyler Lindenball.
Lindenball, yeah.
Yeah, he's a center.
Oh, he's a center.
Yeah, we need tackle help. We don't have that. Yeah.
Boy. BG's gonna be eating on that side.
Yeah, well, Parson will also be eating on the other side.
Good luck with that one. Ooh, Lane Johnson.
Wait, Parsons already kicked Johnson's butt last year.
Lane Johnson wasn't even in that game. Don't go there.
No, the first game he was in there.
No, Lane Johnson didn't play that game. Cowboy fan, Charles play. Lane Johnson was out. He was dealing with some mental health issues. He didn't come back to
mental health issues. That's not funny.
That's not funny.
I expected the injury. The way you just said that, I was
he was dealing with mental health issues.
He came back later on, right?
Yeah, he came back later. And he didn't even play in the last game.
Yeah, I feel you.
Let's try.
Yeah, that's it. You guys have any questions from the boys?
No. It's just interesting that like your strength is now your weakness. How quickly the league can just turn.
I mean, Jerry made it personal. We had Amari Cooper and we had the right tackle who went to Bengals, Lyle Collins.
Yeah.
On the roster, and he just cut him and gave them up for nothing.
I mean, that was Amari Cooper. He should have traded him for like a second or a third of like what Houston did.
Why not keep him?
DeAndre.
I mean, his salary.
That was my thing. If you go and trade him, I would give him up for more. You gave him up for like a 6. It's like, okay, here, get out of here.
Because the entire league knew we wanted to cut him or trade him.
Yeah, but
so eventually
you'll get some. Eventually you will. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, that's the second. That was a discount for Arizona, but
yeah,
that's different. But yeah, I guess. Anyway, let's move on. Baltimore Purple Gang, what's up? You on mute, bro?
For that one.
You on mute.
Yeah, I was just getting myself hyped because there's a lot to.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try and keep it short and sweet. So some of the standouts in training camp. First of all, our 4th round pick tight end Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina, beast, dog, just whatever you want to call him. He's everything we want. They call him Baby Lamar on the team. Sorry, Baby Mark on the team because he's Mark Andrews II. We got an undrafted free agent rookie out of Michigan, middle linebacker called Josh Ross. And, our defensive coordinator came from Michigan. He was with us, then he went to Michigan and came back. So he vouched for him, and he's been outstanding so far. And the D coordinator knows him. Third round pick, Travis Jones, has been a beast, but he got hurt. He's out for like 3 to 5 weeks, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. Apparently, Lamar has put on size and he's got more zip on the ball, so hopefully we'll see how that looks in the season. The strengths of the team, the secondary is everybody's back, and we picked up what's his face from the Saints,
Williams.
The Saints safety, Marcus Williams. Our O-line is looking good. We ended up retaining 11 players for the O-line after the 53-man roster cut. Ronnie Stanley just passed his physical, left tackle, so hopefully if he comes back and he's even like 80% of what he was before, we'll be good. Our D-line looks stable. We picked up Michael Pierce. We have Travis Jones coming back from injury, the rookie. We got a few dogs out there. We got Calais Campbell for leadership, so it looks good. Concerns so far, and you guys know this about me, I don't respect the running back position at all, but our running back room is atrocious right now. It's a disaster. Like in the three preseason games, we're averaging 3.7 yards per carry in Baltimore. Like that's ridiculous. But we're about to sign Kenyon Drake pending his physical.
Oh, I saw that.
So that's gonna be good. If he can give us something, that would be great.
Who's the lead back?
Mike Davis, who's a big body, he can move things. Yeah, we don't know how JK is gonna look yet, but he's back, he's practicing, so fingers crossed. Gus Edwards was like a month ago, he was ruled out for week 1, which I've never seen before in my life. Wow. But that tells you how far back he is.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, he's still rehabbing. Wide receiver is still a question, obviously, as it's always been. But we added DeMarcus Robinson, who went off on the preseason, the third game. But to be fair, he was playing against Future's personal trainers and UPS delivery men, so who knows? We might pick up one of these bargain bin guys that got released, maybe Josh Gordon, maybe one of these other guys that's got knocked off to help us out, see how that goes.
T.Y. Hilton still out there.
In Baltimore, though.
Sorry?
T.Y. Hilton is still out there.
In Baltimore.
No, we need a big body. We have enough little guys. We don't need another one. At least that's what I think. I'm not sold on our pass rush. We have Odafe Owe and pretty much nothing else at this point because Tyrus Bowser is still rehabbing. So we'll see how that goes. Ojabo.
Yeah,
I still think we should have picked up Pickens instead of him, but we'll see because Pickens is dogging everybody everywhere. So
wait,
I'm nervous about
how's the job looking?
Who did Pickens get picked by?
The Steelers. So we got to play him twice a year. Yeah, that's calm.
He's gonna be a starter. Just watch.
He's the number 2 receiver already.
He is, right?
Yeah.
He's like 3 now. Oh no, he's a number 3, right?
2.
Wait,
so over.
Yeah, he went up to 2. Because Deontay Johnson got a slight injury, I think. So maybe that might be it, but whatever. But he's
so number 1 is that guy from Notre Dame, right?
Claypool.
Claypool's
Chase. Number 2.
No, Chase is also injury prone. So I think because of him and Deontay's combination of injuries, that's why Pickens is 2 now, I believe.
In my opinion, even as it is, he is the best wide receiver.
100%.
Better than all the others.
Deontay Johnson.
Pickens.
He's better than all of them. He's better
than all of them.
True. If he's healthy,
yeah.
Even with Deontay Johnson healthy and everybody healthy, Pickens is better than all of them. Just watch.
I agree.
I like Deontay though.
He drops too many passes.
Yeah,
that's his only issue.
But our middle linebackers are still suspect. Patrick Queen, we're still trying to figure him out. This is third year, so it's make or break for him. We don't really have a lot of depth there either, but the undrafted rookie free agent Josh Ross from Michigan, he's done really well. We have this guy walk on like Christian Welch, who's been around a bit, and he's doing really well as well. Concerns, the biggest concern in Baltimore is the biggest concern across the entire NFL, Lamar Jackson's contract. We don't know what the hell is going on there. Yesterday he was, jawing with people on Twitter about his contract, talking about they don't love Lamar. I don't know what was going on. He was liking pictures of people, editing pictures of him in a Miami Dolphins jersey. Like,
he probably want to go back home.
It's slowly becoming.
Someone take his phone away from him. Someone take his phone away from him.
Nobody asked him anything, and he just came out talking about how, as a kid, he loved the Dallas Cowboys, and his second team was the Dolphins. We're like, what? Like, what's going on now, man?
Cowboys.
In the words of Mike Tomlin, I'm going through the proper professional procedures on this one. In regards to his contract. Any injury concerns? Most of the guys returning are question marks. Marcus Peters, because we didn't play, we played barely any starters in the preseason, so we don't know. Marcus Peters, we don't know what he's gonna be. J.K. Dobbins, we don't know. Ronnie Stanley, we don't know. Rookie center Tyler Linderbaum got injured, but he came back and played 9 snaps in the last game, and he looked really good. Gang sign fingers. Brian Bolden just said that, the kid looks legit. He did one of his video things where he kind of talks about moves and stuff. And he was like, yo, that kid looks good. But again, playing against plumbers and future, personal trainers. So who knows? What else? How has the team looked so far during preseason? 23 straight wins. Haven't lost a preseason game since 2016.
That is impressive, man.
Very impressive.
It is impressive, but it's one of the most useless impressive stats in sports history.
Correct.
Individual standouts. We had guys flash. Isaiah Likely's a beast. The man caught every pass thrown to him in preseason. He was
going to be a defensive matchup problem.
Yeah, on one drive in the second game, he went 7 for 7 for 100 and something yards and a touchdown. It was just like nobody could hold him. So we'll see. I honestly have no idea how good our team is going to be in my division. We can be first, we can be fourth. Like, it's a toss-up in that division. So fingers crossed, we'll see. But yeah, that's the Baltimore Ravens report.
Hey, Hamilton, is he starting? Or is he...
I don't think Hamilton's going to start. I personally haven't been too impressed with him in the preseason, but I think it's just been, the lights and everything being big for him, like, and all the pressure of being a first-round draft pick. He's fast, and his reaction is very good, but he got beat by Malik Willis on a QB, rollout, and he completely missed the angle. And then there was another play where a guy was running loose, and he just kind of ran around Hamilton. So we'll see. I think he still has time to learn. And like I was telling Kweku, that's the reason why the Chuck Clark trade was next, because we saw Hamilton, we're like, maybe he's not fully ready, so we can't get rid of Chuck Clark just yet.
Gotcha.
So, but all that adds to our secondary strength. So our secondary is our strength. Our D-line is pretty good. Our O-line with all these 11 guys, because we have Jawan James, who's good. We have Morgan Moses we picked up, who's good. We have a lot of guys that are solid, but if Ronnie Stanley doesn't come back, I don't think any of it will matter. But Lamar historically does well with a good O-line, so fingers crossed. We'll see.
Wait, did you guys cut a safety? A veteran safety?
Tony Jefferson, but he's going to come back.
He's coming back?
He'll come back.
Do you guys think you're going to trade for a wide receiver?
We don't have to trade for a wide receiver. Like I said, Baltimore doesn't respect the position. We never have since the team was invented. So we're probably going to pick up, like I said, one of these bargain bin guys off the trash heap that got released. We don't need to. And Baltimore values draft picks, so we're not giving it up for a receiver.
And Kweku trying to push Rager, man.
We can pick up Josh Gordon. We can pick up T.Y. There's still a bunch of free agents.
I was about to say, you might as well pick up T.Y. if you're going for Rager.
Too much weed in Baltimore to pick up Josh Gordon.
Hey, the NFL doesn't test for weed anymore.
I was about to say, it's pretty much legal now in the league.
Yeah, that's right. Gregory talking all that smack.
His is PEDs. Anyway.
No, we did.
Questions?
How's Marcus Peters looking?
He hasn't done anything. He's off injury. He's doing some practicing, but he hasn't really done anything, so we don't know. But I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah. Defense is going to be the strength, you think? Or
sorry?
Defense is still the strength, right?
Listen, I'm going to be real, and Minos is going to make fun of me, but Lamar Jackson is the strength of our team. I don't care how you slice it. He's always going to be like, we go as far as he goes.
Yeah.
I can't make fun of that because it's true.
Yeah, but anytime I talk about Lamar, you're like, wah, 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 wah. So,
well, yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson is way better than Trace McSorley.
Facts. He's an elite quarterback, so even though you should have rather said Kweku, because Kweku be coming at you, dog.
Kweku is cute because his quarterback is Jalen Hurts, who's like Lamar's understudy. So who's he to talk?
True.
Wait,
he hopes to grow up to become Lamar. So
nah, he'll probably grow up to become Michael Vick before he grows up to even think about Lamar.
And Lamar's already better than Vic, so what are you talking about? Anyway, that's
No,
a
he's
different
not.
conversation.
No, he's not.
Oh, that's blasphemy.
No.
I'm Newport News, man. That's blasphemy.
No, come on. You can say Lamar is better than Doc, but
whoa. Why are you throwing that?
First of all, I am quoting Michael Vick. So you take it how you want. Vic said it himself.
Hey, they've never made the Lamar Jackson experience. They made the Vic experience, though.
Exactly. Yeah, let's go.
What the hell does
I'm
that
talking
mean?
about
Like, I
that.
don't
All right.
Nah, the Michael Vick.
I'll say
You
this.
didn't see it? Yo, you gotta go see it.
Lamar
Lamar
has the better career so far and a better trajectory because he's young. But as far as talent, I don't think Lamar is more talented than Michael Vick. And I think Michael Vick didn't hone his talents the way
I agree. I agree.
That's how I'll say it.
He said, and I quote, the reason I think Lamar is better than me or is going to be better than me is because he has more discipline.
Exactly. And I agree. I think that's
the discipline part, because I mean Lamar has.
I think Lamar is going to end up having a better career than Mike Vick because he just needs to
hire agents to negotiate his contract. I mean, that's the one thing.
I don't know about all that because he's doing something that hasn't been done. So of course everybody's going to be like, "What are you doing?" But if it works out, it's going to be like, "Oh, he's a genius." If it doesn't work out,
quarterback, he's the first one.
I think it's language. I don't know if it's language issues that they're running into in terms of this.
No, he wants a fully guaranteed contract.
That's what what's-his-face did too, right?
Cleveland.
The former Niners cornerback, the guy that used to play for the Seahawks.
Sherman
negotiated his own contract too.
Yeah, but it's different. It's different positions though. You know, quarterback.
That's different.
Yeah, because quarterback, there's so much language in their contracts that like you and a lot of money. Like like look at what they did with Kyler Murray. Like, dude, you know, you gotta have somebody who's really good at reviewing these contracts.
Well, I don't know if Kyler Murray is a good example because twofold.
Yeah, but look at the I mean, but
hold on.
Okay, go ahead, finish, and I'll say something. I'll go back to Doc.
It's twofold because that is not a good argument for agents because his agent looked like a complete idiot throughout the whole process with that initial newsletter that he released and then Kyler unfollowing the team on Instagram and all that extra nonsense. If your agent can't keep you from doing that, then what's the point of an agent? That's number one. Number two, you say Lamar should get an agent. Kyler had an agent that allowed him to put the language of, hey, go read and go watch the film. And it became a big issue and he was embarrassed in front of everybody. If that's the argument, then Lamar doesn't need an agent.
No, but not outside of that, like we said, money to be, because if you look at what I talked about when I was talking about the Cowboys, for instance, Doc, there's a certain language that Jerry puts in everybody's contract that only Doc doesn't have that language in his contract. Because if you put that language in a quarterback's contract, you're pretty much messing with their money.
Lamar Jackson
because it's plays this, and that's how
$50 million a year.
And that's how this guy made a lot of money. What's the name of that quarterback that was a bust in Oakland? Because the way his contract, because of the way his contract was structured, he was able to make mad money, but he sucked.
Who? Right. We need to get back on track. But in order just to wrap this up, this discussion, Minos, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Kaepernick also negotiate his contract, the last one, or no?
I don't believe so.
I think
he opted, but he did when he opted.
I remember it looked good on surface, but the language was a fleece, if I remember quite well.
I don't really remember it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what makes me curious if he actually negotiated his own, because surface level it looked like it was a good contract, but apparently it was just full of incentives, and he wasn't even a starter at the time. But
and then what's it called? And then when he opted out, that's when he didn't have an agent.
Okay.
And at that point, he didn't get picked up.
Okay. So anyway, I'll have to double check that to see if he did it himself. I feel like he did just because of how weird the contract was. But that is a great segue to move to Bang Bang Niner Gang.
Yeah, and I'll be quick because we returned a lot of guys. In terms of training camp standouts, Brandon Ayuk came in with just in like Terminator mode. Apparently, he was just dominating everything, even to the point where even if he wasn't involved in a fight, he would jump in just because. really took like a big step forward from the issues that he had last year coming into training camp. Just kind of like, oh, I thought it'd be easier. No, this year him and Trey, they worked hard together in the offseason. Jordan Mason, I've been really impressed with, and he's shown it in the games. But again, it's like what Rex said, UPS delivery men that he's been going against. But he's a big body, and he just hits you. We're carrying 5 running backs, and we
wow.
That's
wow.
That's Shanahan for you.
Jeez.
Wait, did you count Debo in that?
So right now, I mean, So training camp standouts. Bosa looked absolutely just stupid.
He's back healthy.
He is 100% fully healthy, ready to make a contract push. Hufanga I really like as our safety, replacing Jaquiski.
Remember you mentioned him last year.
Yep. But in terms of like my overall concerns is our offensive line, man. The entire right side, it almost seems like it doesn't exist. McGlinchey, he's still kind of day to day coming back off of that torn quad, and then just
Notre Dame guy, right?
Yep. And then it's just awful. Our center Alex Mack retired.
Yeah.
We lost a couple big guys in free agency. But it's also hard to tell. I didn't see anything in preseason because Trent Williams didn't play in the preseason.
That's the thing. It's hard to gauge with preseason.
Nobody on the defensive line that starts played in the preseason. We had Fred Warner play maybe like 4 plays, and everything else was just all backups. And like even that game against the Packers where, I criticized the living daylights out of Jordan Love for throwing 3 picks against our backups. Samuel Womack has really impressed me. I mean, I don't think he's let anybody get a catch on him in any of the preseason games that he's played. And they've switched him from being, an outside corner to the slot corner, and he's done equally as good in both areas. Our strength is obviously going to be our defense. I mean, you got Nick Bosa, you got Javon Kinlaw saying he hasn't felt this good since he was.
He looks like a machine right now.
Armstead being on the inside, I think, was much better for him than being on the outside. I mean, you got Aziz, you got Warner, you got Greenlaw. I mean, and then our second level players that'll be coming in on that D line, like with Drake Jackson, Hassan Ridgeway, Omanehu as backups. I mean, I bet you they could start on a few teams in this league, but they're the guys that we just rotate in. We got issues right now with injuries with Charvarius. Well, both Wards are down. One with a hamstring, but hopefully Charvarius is back week 1. Jimmy is out first 4 weeks. So who knows? Maybe we go get Jaquiski back for 4 weeks.
Better hurry up.
But that'll be in the room, Jimmy and Trey. I think it's going to be great. I mean, and Trey calls Jimmy his big brother. So, hey. And then, we'll trade Jimmy midway through the season once, Lamar gets hurt and he's unsigned.
Can I ask you a question, though? And this is legit. And I'm not trying to play. I clown you about Trey and everything, but I'm dead serious right now. Alex Smith, Mahomes, Romo Dak, Flacco, Lamar. Like anytime the new rookie comes in and balls out, they ship the old guy. So I am nervous that maybe they're not seeing something from Trey, and that's why they're still trying to keep Jimmy, because Jimmy, with the surgery that he had and not communicating with the team, it's like he was like done with them or just defying them in a sense, and they still gave him a contract. So I feel like maybe there's something they're not seeing in Trey. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think that at all. There was an article that came out on the NBC Sports Network out there on the West Coast where it was basically like Jimmy's agent's idea to delay the surgery because Jimmy doesn't want to get to a team late, jeopardize him playing well, playing bad, getting to a team he doesn't want to go to. Whereas now this kind of works out for him. He's going to get a guaranteed $6 million, which, God forbid. I mean, let's say Trey, knock on wood, gets hurt and Jimmy leads the team to a Super Bowl. Well, then his incentives go up to $17 million, and then he's a complete he's an unrestricted free agent. He comes in now, and he still plays that big brother role.
It's a win-win for him.
Yeah, and then he goes into next year as an unrestricted free agent and can see where he wants to go. Whereas right now, if we would have, we could have held on to him until right before that first game and then released him. And then he'd basically just be floating out there like trying to learn a playbook in a week.
The Panthers will pick him up.
But him having that contract, the delay of the surgery, and the fact that the way the Niners restructured all these other contracts, even if they kept him at that $24 million number, it still would have worked. So no, I don't think it was anything about like having any type of concern or anything like that at all.
Cool.
It's just a Joe Montana, Steve Young reenactment, man.
Hey, you could go that route too, I guess. Yeah. Any other Niner questions? How's my guy from SMU?
Oh, Danny Gray.
Yeah,
That's
I told you about him.
The fact that you got Ayuk and Debo that could be underneath with Kittle, and then you could just literally tell this guy, "Hey, run as fast as you can."
Yeah.
And hopefully,
he's a good player.
Trey has an arm, and he underthrows him sometimes.
Yeah. At SMU, he was serious. It was one of the players I actually wanted us to draft late or pick him up as an undrafted free agent because there was a chance that he would end up there. But yeah, he looks like he's going to be okay. He's going to be in the league. Like he may not be a prominent guy, but he's definitely, depending on his work ethic, he might end up, being a prominent guy. But
yeah,
he's good enough to at least be in the league, just bouncing around at the worst.
Kyle's got some tricks up his sleeves, man. Because I like 5 running backs.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best
5
running backs in the league. He's one of those coaches that, like, I respect as an offensive mind, not just as a coach. We're
going to be throwing like 15 like reverse screens a game.
Yeah.
Because our O-line on the right side is going to be awful. It's like, you got Trent Williams, and then it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, I hear you.
That looks like it's on every team now, right? O-line.
Yeah, cool.
That's why I was shocked that J.C. Treader retired.
Yeah.
He could have used him.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys, any last thoughts in general about preseason, training camp across board, not just necessarily your teams?
Just quickly, we're joking. We say, preseason, but they're playing against like future personal trainers and UPS delivery men and everything. But technically, if you excel against those guys and you actually make it onto a 53-man roster, you're not only playing against better talent, you're also playing with better talent. So you get through that grind and your job can get easier because you have better talent around you. So I think that the guys that are doing well in preseason, it can translate into the regular season if they stay healthy. We just make fun, but at the end of the day, hardworking guys deserve their props.
That's how some people even got their start to become legends, like Terrell Davis and them, So you're right. Absolutely.
I just have one quick question. What's up with OJ Howard, man? Why is he not sticking?
He's gonna get picked up again.
Question.
He's gonna get picked up again, but I don't know why he's just hasn't panned out, man. I don't know.
He has all the talent, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's just a weirdo.
like the dude from Miami that's in jail now.
Which one?
The Winslow Jr.
I'm a warrior. I'm a soldier.
He's a weirdo. That's part of the reason why he didn't last in the league. But he had all the talent in the world.
It's interesting. Another thing that's interesting for me is the whole Aaron Donald helmet thing, because like the NFL is saying we're not going to do anything about it, It's between the teams to
Yeah, they
decide.
can't punish practice.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey, the guy's box office, man. They're gonna let it slide.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
makes too much money for the league for them to
Yeah.
heavily penalize him. That's just how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
do like the joint practices, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're better than preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like joint practices, man.
Why?
It's always some nonsense, some unnecessary nonsense going on. I like the teams to be a big surprise when the season starts. Is you put these guys together, and the reason I say that is you can't lose a Super Bowl and then your very first time looking at another team is the guy that just beat you in the Super Bowl. What do you think?
That was just
That
a
was-
bad
But
matchup.
and in that one, in that case, yes. Like I wouldn't do joint practice with a team that I'm playing that season. Like for instance, last year the Eagles kind of screwed up and had joint practice with the Jets, even though we beat their ass afterwards. But because part of the reason why we beat them was because it was Minshew, not Jalen Hurts. But if you're playing that team that year, I would also do joint practice with somebody in
AFC.
another conference.
In a different conference.
AFC.
Yeah.
Or you can do the Belichick strategy. Belichick usually does like joint practices with teams that he knows there's a potential to meet them in the Super Bowl if you don't play them in the regular season. So he'll have his little notes and get ready for you. And you get there and you'll be surprised that he's remembering stuff. So I think it's useless, honestly. I think the whole preseason is useless.
No, it gives certain people a chance.
It's really for the people
that don't want
aren't guaranteed. Yeah,
on the bubble, man. Yeah.
Really, it's really for the ones that aren't guaranteed.
And also, my thing too is speaking of preseason, if they send undrafted free agents back to school, I think a lot of this preseason stuff won't be happening. Like if you don't get drafted, just go to college and play another year or something.
Yeah. No, I hear
It's
you.
money. They just want the money. They always want the money.
Yeah.
Well, now you got NILs in college, though. That could change.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah. On another unrelated note, it looks like my man JT Jonathan Taylor has joined the lock gang. I think he just locked his hair, dog. He's about to join us.
Oh, he joined us?
Either it's locked or he's just twisted and he definitely has to twist. It looks like he's
lock gang, baby.
Lock
we got them
gang.
hairs.
He's following the Edgerrin James movement. It looks like. So shout out to JT.
Man, hopefully he doesn't get them shits pulled like what's his name did that one year. Wasn't it
Edgerrin? That's why Edgerrin was one of the first to get him pulled. That's why he cut him short after a while. Like at the beginning, he had a long lock, and then he kept.
Wasn't it Torrey Smith that guy pulled his pull?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, but Edgerrin and Ricky Williams are like the pioneers. They're like the first two before everybody started getting locks. So like when he got his pulled, then that's when he cut.
Yeah, now Ricky looks like me.
Yeah, I know, right? But JT's are like tiny because he just started them, so it'll take some time before they grow a bit. But it will be interesting. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch as much preseason and highlights as possible because I wasn't around, so it was hard to keep track. But I'll be doing some research for fantasy purposes soon.
And for those of you on the AFC, the Chargers roster is for real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that joint practice, I was like, Lord have mercy.
Well, the AFC has, in my opinion, like 7 of the top 10 teams in the NFL right now. So like you can have a really good team and not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
The
You
AFC,
literally need to
West.
win your division to guarantee it.
You gotta win the division.
this year.
Yeah.
I almost feel like whoever comes out of the AFC into the Super Bowl is gonna get blown up because we'll be so destroyed by the time the season is done.
Yeah, man.
Kind of like how Mahomes' second half in the AFC Championship game, you could just tell he was just done with football at that time. His season was over before the second half started.
Buffalo's offense, man.
That's another team on the cusp.
Buffalo is
close,
their offense, man.
And their defense.
Yeah,
they added what's his face, the pass rusher. So
Von Miller.
defense has gotten better too. Yeah, the defense has gotten better. Now we'll see if the only issue on the offense was the running game. Now they picked up what's his face, James Cook.
James Cook. Yeah, James Cook.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be good.
We'll see if he's gonna be like his
I
brother.
could see him taking over from what's his
Singletary or whatever his name is.
Singletary, yeah.
Oh yeah, he should. He should. I think he'll be their starter by mid-season.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
only issue is he's
Not
kind
even
of small,
mid-season.
man.
Probably
He's speedy
like,
and he can catch, but he's small. So I don't know.
probably by week 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he took over.
Yeah, that offense
The position I respect second most is middle linebacker, so I'm not worried for him.
Yeah. I guess, man.
Second least, sorry. Running backs is number 1, middle linebackers is number 2. I would just pick undrafted free agents for those positions all year. I don't respect them at all.
It's funny you're saying that because, like, even Philly, like, they always say they don't draft linebackers in the first round.
No.
First 2 rounds. Never.
Well,
Yeah,
look at
I'm
our
not drafting
linebacker.
running backs or linebackers.
All teams are saying that now.
None
It's
of
a
my
useless
linebackers.
position. I told you guys this like 4 years ago. You guys were like, no, look at it now.
Linebackers?
No, I said running backs, but now middle linebackers are heading in that same direction.
Well, it depends, though. If the middle linebacker can cover, then he's going to be drafted high. But if he's look at Nakobe Dean. Like, how do all your teammates get picked first 2 rounds and you drop all the way to the 3rd round? And he was better than all of them.
Right.
It also depends on the system you're playing.
Yeah.
Like someone like Darius Leonard is going to go in the first 2 rounds.
Shaquille.
Granted, he went to one of the African American schools, so nobody really knew. But someone of his skill level now.
Is that what you're trying to say? HBCUs?
Yeah, you know.
That's an African American school.
Yeah, HBCUs, dog. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I get you.
And it's a system. I mean, but now things are probably going to change, even with HBCUs.
Now they're getting the
doing
recognition
right
that
now
with Dion and all those
doing,
people actually vouching for them. They're going to start
Eddie
being
George and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like because a lot of the talent is starting to break through mainstream, they're gonna start getting good looks, you know. So, but like,
imagine having to give a 5th round option to a running back or a middle linebacker. What the?
I mean, they gave it to Zeke. I mean, they. That's why. They didn't give it to Zeke. That's why Zeke was fighting for that contract.
If the profile type is like Darius Leonard, then he's a 1st or 2nd round worthy pick.
Don't get me twisted. Don't get it twisted. Of course, there's always going to be a supreme talent at those positions. That's just amazing. But generally speaking, like it's a waste of time to even like look at that stuff, man. To me,
I don't know, man. Because currently,
but Micah is not a middle linebacker.
The body type is starting to switch to the Darius Leonard, Fred Warner.
Micah Parsons is an athlete. Period.
Yes,
and that is what the middle linebacker is starting to switch.
It's starting to switch.
That's what I'm saying. Like that body type. So if it starts to switch that way, then that argument is mute because then they become super athletes.
Exactly.
And you can't just say.
But I guess my point is like, but if I can get 2 or 3 like decent guys, they can make up that role for that one supreme guy that's gonna eat up cap. That I don't know.
I mean, look at the Tampa Bay
and a lot of.
Tampa Bay linebackers, look at them.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Rex.
And a lot of teams are going to build in trenches before they build.
Given the direction it's moving, I don't know.
I told you guys this about running backs. I'm giving you the future again. Y'all choose not to listen. I got a crystal ball, man.
Because that body type of linebacker is not that frequent, but they're always going to be some. So as long as they're going to be some, there's incredible value there.
And
if pass, they don't take big body safeties.
This is my theory. If pass is not in the position, the word pass is not in the position you play, I'm not looking at you to the 4th round.
Yeah, but then that body
passes,
type,
catching passes,
can cover.
pass protecting, pass rushing, pass defending. Forget you, man.
Our highest linebacker is Fred Warner, 3rd round.
Fred is a beast, but that's what I mean. Like in the 3rd round, you can get somebody like Fred. In the 4th round or 3rd round, you get somebody like Shaquille Leonard. Like, so why bother trying to get a guy in the 1st or 2nd round?
No, now you can, but now they've also broken the mold of that position. So now that body type is now on the radar, it's going to bump up from 3rd to like 2nd or 1st because they're rare.
I don't see it.
All right.
I mean, the first 2 rounds, I'll tell you this. The first 2 rounds right now are a lot of teams are building in the trenches.
That's where you have to start.
So either O-line or D-line. Like that is, I mean, besides quarterback, that is like, because even with same thing with wide receivers. Yeah, they're all over the place. But you can pick up a good wide receiver in the third round.
Yeah, but then after
the
all
trenches,
those are scrambled
dude.
for, then you start picking who's best on the board. You're right.
Even look at this year. Like the first three or first four were all defense.
Yeah,
even
by like
the
16th to like 20th pick, the top tier talent in those areas are gone. So then you start going to who's the best on your draft board.
I mean, this year's it's one of those odd years because the QBs weren't good.
That too,
right?
That too.
I mean, and it depends on what teams will suck this year, because the teams that are probably going to suck are all going to end up picking quarterbacks.
Pick it from
next year's roster.
Houston, the Giants are probably going to. Pittsburgh, they got to pick quarterback. But like the Giants are probably going to pick a quarterback. The Houston Texans are probably going to pick a quarterback.
I think
this year's stacked.
It was Mills another year this year and see how he does before they start thinking about getting back into the quarterback market, because he's exceeded expectations so far, in my opinion. So I think you give him a shot. Same with like Zach Wilson, just needs to stay healthy, and then we'll see what he can really do, because we really haven't seen it. This year's draft pick, Kenny Pickett, like he's in his backyard, so he's comfortable. So I think he's going to be a problem. I think by week 4 he'll be starting on Pittsburgh. Malik Willis might probably take that job from Tannehill next year.
Yeah.
So even though they weren't drafted high, now it's kind of getting back to, at least this year, it kind of got back to what it used to be years ago, where you drafted a quarterback and then you put them down and groom them to become better, which is what they did with Trey. Trey is about to be a problem in the NFL. When last year everybody was like, because we had gotten so used to draft play day one. So everybody was, what's wrong with Trey? Trey is it, but Trey is going to become a problem, and now we all know it. So
let's hope. Let's hope. He looked ugly. But he was trying for his life.
I pick on you, but I believe in Trey.
Justin Fields, I think, is also going to be a good one.
That division is tough.
I think it's going to be a good one.
West. Yeah.
Especially now that they know that they don't have like outstanding talent, they're going to try and use him according to his strengths. I think he's going to have a good year. I don't think the team is going to be very good, but I think Justin Fields is going to have a good year.
Oh, I don't know.
That O-line, man.
I think they need to arrest the entire front office of the Chicago Bears, because they have done absolutely nothing to help that kid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think they realize that they're short of talent.
But how can he have a good year? How is he going to have a good? He has no O-line. He has no receivers.
Because of the scheme. Because of the scheme.
What scheme?
Week 1, they play the 49ers. He's going up against Nick Bosa and Kinlaw week 1.
He's going to have a lot more like rollouts,
take his lunch money,
things of that nature.
The only thing that the Bears got going for him is if they don't replace their stadium grass after the Rammstein concert. That was just
part of the reason why he struggled last year is because they actually tried to play him in a conventional offense when they didn't have any talent or a line. Now they haven't really improved it that much, but now because they know that they're deficient, what's the best way to kind of work around that? You do things like trick plays and like rollouts and things of that nature, which also works to his strength.
How long can you do that?
Let me say,
the team is not going to be good, but he is going to have a good year.
Let me say this though. Like conventionally and historically, anytime you install a new offense, you need like 2 years for it to really start clicking. This guy, this is year 1, so I'm not expecting much from him. So even with all the trick plays, how many can you do before they catch up to you? I have no faith in the team.
You work according to it's kind of like
strengths. Thank you. What strengths?
I guess
they have no strengths.
And that's the same thing. That's the same thing that happened with Houston like 3 years ago. Yet Deshaun Watson literally had almost an MVP year on a shitty team. That's the same thing. It's the same thing. He had a shitty.
This kid is not as good as Deshaun Watson.
But Deshaun had Brandon Cooks.
You guys are missing my point though. Like the reason why he was so good is because they worked to his strengths. He didn't have any help, but they worked to his strengths.
Well,
and
he had good
he had close to an MVP year. He had an
offensive mind though. Like his head coach.
Who was it? Who?
What's the name of that guy?
O'Brien?
O'Brien, yeah.
The one that traded D-Hop for man.
Thank you.
He's dumb, but
bro.
I mean, they won the division, what, 3 or 4 times before?
But who was in that
happened?
division?
Bro, the year that
The Colts even couldn't even
Exactly.
The last year Deshaun Jackson played,
and Colts had a better, stronger team than they did, but
the
they
last
couldn't
year,
win the division.
no, we didn't. When they won the division, they were the best team in the
No,
division.
they won the division, what, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, but that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
That's because when Andrew Luck lost the spleen.
Yeah, they didn't have a quarterback. That was Jacoby Brissett.
But back to the point. That 2-3 years ago, the last year that Deshaun Watson played, he played like an MVP on a terrible team, and they were terrible. Like the record was terrible, but he individually had a good year. I'm not expecting Justin Fields to have an MVP year, but likewise, I think he'll have a good year if they scheme things to his strengths, much like what happened with Deshaun Watson. That's all I'm saying, which is very possible, as we've seen it before. But obviously,
It's possible. I mean,
Bro, that was
Baltimore
Deshaun Watson's like 4th or 5th year in the league, man. Like,
yeah,
really?
I hear you.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think he's going to have a good year. I just don't think they're going to be a good team.
No, he's going to be running away, not rushing.
Have a lot of rushing yards here.
No, he's going to be running away, not rushing.
Things like rollouts and shit like that.
I don't even know who is on the Bears roster.
No, their best offensive player is Darryl Mooney, who would probably be a 3rd receiver on most teams. Like, they have nothing.
Mooney's nice.
Maybe a 2, Rex.
They got that running back. They're running back.
Yeah, Rich. What's his name?
Are you guys serious right now?
Montgomery?
Yeah, Ty Montgomery's nice.
He's good. He's a good player.
The one that got hurt last year. The quick one.
Oh, yeah. I forgot his name. The number 2 that came in when Montgomery was hurt.
Herbert?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are so nice you don't even remember their names. Okay.
Yo,
who said they were nice?
Hey, they got
Montgomery was
the team. They have done nothing to help the kid. They drafted.
Nobody has any faith in the team.
Free agented. They did free
They didn't have
agency.
any draft.
I think you guys are getting what I'm saying miscombobulated. I'm not saying the team is going to be good. I'm saying as an individual, he's going to have this. This is nothing new. This has happened before where players have individually good years on a very bad team. Yeah. And I think this is what's going to happen to him.
Tune. I hear you. If this guy was more seasoned, number one, if this guy was like an Andrew Luck or one of those type of like generational talents, then I'll give it to you. He is not that. This is his 2nd year in a new offense with a new offensive coordinator, new head coach, all new GM. Everything around him is sinking sand. And how is he going to be good?
Because of the way they're scheming. Anyway,
he might be good for one drive.
I saw the last preseason game where their starters extensively played, and he had a lot of success based on the way they were scheming and this was just vanilla. And I'm gonna just leave it there.
Oh yeah, they were 3-0 in the preseason Super Bowl.
I'm saying when the starters played, he actually excelled just because of the way they schemed the offense, and that was technically vanilla. I'm just saying. I
believe he's talented. I don't think he's gonna have a good year because the team sucks.
What sucks is we have to go then.
What did you say?
I said I believe he's talented. I don't think he's gonna have a good year because the team is really bad. And I don't think he's capable of carrying a team like you compared him to Deshaun. I don't think he
wasn't even happy.
Deshaun didn't even carry his team. They still had a losing record. He just played well.
But Deshaun was in every game. I don't think this guy is capable of that just yet.
I don't know, man, because even
going to win that division.
Even last year, there were some games.
Come on.
There were some games where they were thrown out, and he would actually bring them back in the game. So I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers don't lose.
He doesn't lose in the regular season.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Who's he throwing to?
Doesn't matter. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, what are we talking about?
He's not Brady though. Brady, you can say Brady. Brady can throw to
Brady
can throw to the future electrician and still go.
Aaron Rodgers is a better thrower than Rodgers. What are we talking about?
Who were Aaron Rodgers quarterbacks wide receivers before they became prominent? None of them were big names.
Right. What are we talking about here? Disrespecting the man.
I had never heard of Jordy Nelson.
Brady's where like
I know we're a little bit over, but do you guys know how raw Devontae Adams was when he first got there? He was like wide receiver 5, dropping mad passes, and he got better over time.
Oh, everybody has forgotten.
They all forgot. I'm shocked. Jordy Nelson was no big name until he came to him.
Rodgers is the one complaining about them, not me.
And yet they still play well, right?
That's not all the time. Rodgers does that
all the time, but they still play well.
That's that ayahuasca.
Y'all are disrespectful, dog. Y'all are disrespectful.
Ayahuasca.
No, wait,
even
I want to try that.
Even Scantling, that is now playing with that's now playing with Mahomes. He said the greatest quarterback he's ever played with is Aaron Rodgers. He's playing with Mahomes right now. Let's not disrespect the man, dog. Y'all forgot to
we're not disrespecting him, but
Brady is the greatest football player we've ever seen. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is the best thrower of the football I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's true.
That man can hit a pin.
That's true. His talent is unreal.
So if they are not good, it's because the receivers are not good. It's not because of Aaron, but Aaron is going to have them.
Yeah, but I mean, the question was, are they going to win the division?
I think they will.
I do too.
Over Vikings.
I think it's a Viking.
The Vikings have Captain Kirk, man. Like I don't trust Kirk. Kirk is good for like 4 games, 5 games a season, and then if you give him like weapons, if you want to ruin Kirk Cousins, just give him more primetime games. You lose them all for you.
Kirk doesn't have a lot.
Anyway, we're like 1 hour 30 in. Let's wrap it up. Next week we will actually do the season preview and predictions for the first wave of games. So we're pretty much getting ready to launch officially next week. And I apologize, guys, for the technical difficulties at the beginning. I think it was a great podcast. People put a lot of good input, and thank you guys for your time. It's not easy. And we appreciate the viewers that actually watch this, and hope you come back for some more.
Yes,
With that being said, over and out.
Subscribe.
It was a pleasure.
Hit that subscribe button.
51.
Until next week, we're out.